So the Santi are not too happy with us. All because this guy didn't know how to keep his mouth shut, and this girl wanted to make decisions for the entire human race. At first, they were supposed to come and help us, but now they know the nature of our ways and they view us as inferior and untrustworthy. Perfect. We ended last episode with the first half of the cult being taken care of, along with Ye being detained and brought in for questioning. Now Clarence and Wade just need to get to the Judgment Day ship, and I have a feeling due to the title of episode 5, that's exactly what they're about to do. The Santi will take 400 years to get here, so now it's just time to prepare for their arrival and hopefully slow them down or stop them before they do. We got the rest of the top minds in the world ready to go, but the Santi are watching our every move. Make sure to like and subscribe, go watch episodes 1 through 4 explained if you haven't already, link in the description, and let's get into 3-body problem. Oh, Wade is not playing around with Mike Evans. He's coming in hot. Catching up with everybody on the team, Clarence finally gets to talk to Ye, and she is holding her ground that she made the right decision, and she's being hella creepy and ominous as usual. Jen is being kept at a safe house out in the middle of nowhere, now that she's public enemy number 1 to the cult, and Wade and Clarence are after the records of communication between Mike and the Santi, assuming most of the answers they are looking for must be in those files. Know your enemy, right? But Mike still can't get an answer from the Santi, and the people on his ship are starting to get pretty worried after that raid. Alright, now let's get into the good stuff. Clarence recruits Augie to help him make an attack on Judgment Day, because remember those nanofibers she was working on? Yeah, now those are going to come in handy. They have to neutralize everyone on board so they can steal the records, but they can't be caught doing so of risk that they will destroy the records before they can get to them. So what better than fibers that can cut through steel and can't be seen by the human eye? But this would mean that Augie would have to resume her work and could potentially see the countdown again. And we still don't know exactly what happens when it hits 0 besides death of some sort. And if we remember, hers was almost at 0. We thought the countdown was driving people crazy and caused them to off themselves, but that was most likely because they didn't know what it was. But Augie knows everything that's going on, so there's no reason for her to do the same, unless something actually happens at 0. And someone pointed out in the comments on the last video, the Santi could just be taking control of them and forcing them to do it. But she turns on the machine, and no numbers. Nanofibers are good to go. And Clarence rightfully points out that this is because the Santi aren't protecting the cult anymore, just like how the raid happened. Alright, if you didn't like this scene, I don't know what to tell you, because this was cool as f***. Seeing the nanofibers slowly cut in half everything and everyone on the ship was absolutely terrifying. Like, just imagine 1 minute you're chilling with your friend, and out of nowhere they turn into a 2-piece combo. Minute by minute, this ship is cheese grated into a fiery mess, and Mike tries to run away with the records that were on a small hard drive. But luckily, he was too late. But I was thinking, they didn't know what the records would be on, and the whole goal was to not blow them up while taking out all the ship members. And it very well could have happened. Like, not only did the ship burst into flames and so could the hard drive, but what if Mike held it like 3 inches lower and it got caught on the string of nanofibers? I get that the mission was risky from the get-go, but they almost killed hundreds of people for no reason. Well, I guess that wouldn't be the first time that's happened. After 2 weeks of trying to open the files from this hard drive, with little to no luck, it miraculously just works one day. That's because the Santi want them to see what's inside. Hell, they could probably just change what's on it with the snap of a finger. They see a file titled 3-body Sophon, and you know how a standard iPhone is 64 gigabytes? Well, this file is over 1.5 million iPhones worth of storage. Wade brings Jen in because she's their best bet at understanding what's on this file. They put on the headsets and it looks like they've reached the final level of the game. Or it could just be a way to directly communicate with the Santi. Either way, time for another ball drop, and quite possibly the best one yet. First of all, a main thing I think we're all wondering is, what do they even look like? She says, quote unquote, we wouldn't like it, and as scary as that sounds, I'm honestly even more excited to see what the Santi look like now. But anyway, so even though they are more advanced than us, it has taken them so much longer to do so, because they have to keep restarting over and over, whereas we have advanced and developed at an exponential rate. Just think about how much we have achieved as a species just in the last 100 years, 50 years, and where we will be in the next 400. I mean, we practically already have the Santi headsets now. So by the time they get here, we will have surpassed them in knowledge and technology. They had to stop us from moving forward, disarm us, kill our science. And that's where the Sophons come into play. Alright, I am no scientist by any means, but I'm gonna try and explain this. A Sophon is a sentient computer, or a computer with a conscience, and it's the size of a proton, which is smaller than an atom. They have made a mind as large as a planet, and by unfolding higher dimensions or some they have shrunk them down to that particle size. They had enough resources to make 4 of these Sophons, 2 they kept and then the other 2 they sent down to Earth, and everything that those 2 Sophons see and hear can be seen and heard from the other 2 even though it's light years away. Because they are so small, they can enter and mess with the particles that the accelerators were working on, creating those results that made no sense, destroying our understanding of science and the universe at a fundamental level. In place of truth, we give you miracles. So not only did they create those impossible readings from episode 1, they also made the stars blink, wrapping our world in illusions, making us see what they want us to see, just like putting the countdowns in people's heads. They are everywhere at all times, always watching us and learning our secrets and manipulating our world as we know it. They are trying to make us fear again. Everything we thought we knew is no longer true. We can't separate what's real or fake anymore. And after they tell Jin and Wade this, they make every computer and every screen in the world display the message, "You are bugs." They expand the Sophon to its original size and completely cover the Earth, creating a reflective dome around the world with a gigantic eye in the sky, watching our every move. Well, the last part of that episode really hurt my brain. Again, sometimes the science is too much in this show, talking about higher dimensions and but when you look past all the terms and scientific definitions, we know what's going on. So basically, the Santi have been behind everything, which we kind of already knew, but now we have confirmation. By creating mass hysteria, they can eliminate the world without even having to be there. They can just defy the laws of the universe and make us drive ourselves to insanity and have us kill each other instead. We're so caught up in this system and way of life that when an existential threat like aliens destroys our idea of life in the universe, there's no point in following in that system anymore. We simply just collapse. The metaphor from earlier of weakening us so we're easier to eliminate is in full effect. And I knew there was something to the bug metaphor too, but a couple other things came to mind. So one, if we remember the Silver Spring book, it's all about the use of pesticides and their effect on the world. And pesticides are used to get rid of bugs from killing crops. If we are bugs in this scenario, eating away at the crops, or in this case, the resources of Earth, now we are kind of getting a taste of our own medicine. And it's a pretty common trope to compare humans to bugs, especially in alien invasion media, but the way Three Body Problem is doing it, I don't know, it's one of the cooler ones that I've ever seen. And two, I'm starting to notice an underlying theme of colonialism. Yes, there's the whole conquering of the world thing and one group being more powerful than the other, but the Sophon speech kind of reminded me of Columbus. A terrible human being, yes, but he told the Native Americans that if they didn't give up their resources, God would make the moon turn blood red with his wrath as a sign of future punishment. Because Europe was more scientifically advanced, they already knew about lunar and solar eclipses, something that the natives hadn't discovered yet. So he knew when the next lunar eclipse was happening, and with his more advanced scientific knowledge, he used that against them to show off what looked like a divine miracle, which kind of feels similar to the sky blinking and then the mirrored sky at the end of this episode. You see what I'm trying to say? They both use science to scare the less advanced group into giving them what they want. I was saying the Santi was using the cult. And there are so many metaphors and meanings we could come up with and we will get into after we finish episode 8, but this is why I want these videos to be collaborative. You guys have already helped me out in the comments with your theories, your knowledge, and interpretations, and I want us to work together to get to the end. So please keep giving me your thoughts in the comments. Thank you guys for supporting and following this series with me. The reception has been amazing so far, and I just cannot wait until we get to the end and see what the first season has to bring. But I really do want that final video about season 1 to be collaborative like I was saying. So in the comments, tell me where I went wrong, where I was right, give me your interpretations, and as we discuss together, hopefully we can get to a quote-unquote answer. But with all that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for the next one.